And I found myself more falling in love with the places where I found the graffiti, and that kind of led me on to abandoned buildings. So I got into a bunch of various abandoned buildings around Richmond, and things got more or less pretty sketchy. But I went back to that school, or when I went to that school, took all those pictures, it was great. And then the next week, I was supposed to go back with all my roommates, but my girlfriend came into town, so I was out with her. But all my roommates went back, and they all got arrested. They all got trespassing charges. And so this week, or last week, when I was like, hey, I want to take some more pictures in an abandoned building, they also know for obvious reasons. Which is, I was planning on going by myself, but a lot of these places are just way too scary to go by yourself. And honestly, it's probably pretty sketchy. Because you could die in there and be dead like a month, and no one would probably ever know.
Just wait for critique.
Exactly, and some other kid would go in there and take a picture of me. Yeah. So I ended up kind of going back to where I started with, but I still wanted to focus on spaces, because the thing about abandoned buildings is that not only are they abandoned, but they're usually kind of forgotten, but they're just kind of like out of sight. And cities are full of just like, either on a small scale or on a large scale, just lots of areas that people just don't touch. Like there's just alleyways and corners and broken down things that people just don't bother caring about unless they're parking there or getting mugged or something. So I went downtown and I tried to find a lot of the smaller spaces that people just kind of forget about and don't really care about, that are occupied by some of the, like my favorite graffiti artists in Richmond. So I started, this is actually, the only one that's not related to graffiti directly is this one. And this is like in an alley outside of a church. And that's a stained glass, you can't really see it, but there's a stained glass window there. And they kind of cheat and have lights on the outside of the church pointing on the back side of their stained glass window. So no one ever goes in this alley, but they have these lights shining on the stained glass window 24/7. And I was back there and there's like enormous rats running everywhere, and I saw this stained glass window with this, there's like a Virgin Mary right there and everything. And that's actually the exact same alley where this is, where this skull is. That's the church right there. So that's like this wall. I saw that, I just couldn't not take a picture of it. It was too interesting.
So it's got this perpetual, like, fake holy light coming to the window all the time. That is too much.
They manufactured stained glass. And then actually, like further up, there's Senator Webb's, like Mark Webb's office is like right behind me as I'm taking this picture. So behind that, there's this sketchy alley, and there's like just this. There's also this near there. And the last time I went back there, there's like this door right here, and this is really dark. All of these are at least 30-second exposures. So this is like incredibly dark. And I went back there once at like 3 in the morning, and I was taking a picture of this same spot, and there was a guy who was like right there. I did not notice, and he stepped down. He said, "What are you doing?" I ran so fast. And he was really sketchy. I didn't go back there for like a month. But yeah, so I followed all these kind of various graffiti artists, like this guy Scum, this guy Ace. They're all pretty big, and it's surprising because downtown is much more like a corporate area. It's much cleaner. Like it's not a place you expect to find a lot of grime, and there really isn't unless you go back to where their dirty little secrets are, everything like that. So when you find these places, it's really interesting. I like especially on this image, these two, like the juxtaposition of just like this really grimy, dirty rooftop, like parking lot area. And then just like Dominion Power, like BB&T, like their Christmas lights up. And yeah.